Okay. Let's have a talk about Final Fantasy. I've never played Final Fantasy up until a couple of months ago, where I played the 7 remake. I've since played 15, and I've dabbled in 14, the online MMO. But other than that, and I've seen some of the movies now as well. I watched Advent Children and a couple other small things with Kingslave as well. But yeah, I like it quite a lot. Actually did play, now that I'm thinking about it, sorry. I did play 13. I played Final Fantasy 13 on the 360 ages ago, but I got very bored of it very fast. It's not a great game. IMO. But I really did enjoy both 7 remake and 15 quite a lot. Forgive me if I mix up the numbers and stuff. There's so much going on with Final Fantasy. I'll probably mix up numbers here and there, but anyway. Yeah, 15 with the 4 boys. I thought that was really, really fun. I really did enjoy that. It's definitely my type of game, just floating around doing random overworld stuff and exploring. I had some issues with it towards the end with 15 when it kind of with like, if anyone's played it, spoilers a little bit if you've not played it, maybe skip this. But like there's a time jump in it, and there's you kind of get locked into an ending type thing. You don't get locked into it. It's not a hard lock. You can get back, but it just feels a bit weird when it comes to the story. And it's a very long segment as well towards the end, so I wasn't too fond of it. But overall, it's a fantastic game. I did enjoy the heck out of it. And 7 Remake is beautiful. It's fantastic. I'm so looking forward to the next part of it, the second part of the remake that to come out with, and I'm still in the middle of playing Integrate with Yuffie, is that her name? I'm still only a couple of hours into that. But yeah, fantastic games all around. I think especially when it comes to like the music is just like popping. So, and I have a couple of mates who are like hardcore fans as well. So that's I think a lot of the interest in it comes from them for sure, especially when it comes to this. So 16 is coming out, and they released a trailer a couple of days ago. I watched the first one. It came out a couple of months ago, 3 or 4 months ago. I know don't know much about it other than it's fairly very heavily based on the summons from the games. These are like gods or demigods that you can summon during a fight to help you in battle. But let's check out this trailer for 16. It's called Ambition. The trailer is called Ambition, I think. Let's see what it's all about.
It has been 1,500 years since the fall of our forebears. And Valisthea has been slowly dying ever since.
Not much further now.
But we're in the middle of the Deadlands.
The blight sucked this place dry. Meaning no trees, no birds.
Is that a dog?
Darkness spreads as day gives way to twilight. The mother's flame now all but a flicker.
We cannot live without the blessing of the crystals. And the crystals work their magic through us. You have been blessed, Joshua.
But who shall claim their fading light? The Grand Duchy of Rosaria, bastion of tradition.
At the very least, we must secure Drake's breath.
The Holy Empire of Sanbreque, where ambition is divine.
The Imperial banner shall fly over every city in Storm. All shall bow before their emperor.
The Dalmekian Republic, whose fortunes shift with the desert sands.
And what of our wise rulers? Goaded into war without any thought as to what chaos it might reap.
The The Iron Kingdom, forged in faith and fear.
Their souls were sullied with the stain of ether. I merely cleansed them of their corruption.
Or the Kingdom of Waloed, indomitable in its isolation.
The dark swallows more of the realm with each passing day. And as the fringes fade, the people flock to the mother crystals.
From a single spark, will the land ignite? In the year 860, the Imperial army will march upon Rosaria. And from the slaughter shall a new shadow rise. To fall upon the dominants, painting their destinies black as night.
Our ability to summon beasts of great might should command respect, but instead has left us outcasts.
And so I became their puppet. What makes them think they have the right to use us? To leave us to die when our bodies are spent?
I'll crush him! Flay him!
It is you who shall bow to me!
Very well. Come then. Show us the strength of your will.
Rise, ye crownless kings. A reckoning is upon you. A war of the icons.
Damn. It's quite the trailer. That's a 4.5 minute trailer. That's a long trailer. Holy crap. Okay, cool. Very political straight off the bat. Set way before any of the other games that I've played. Much older school. It's all just swords and shields, and I'm sure there's like bows and arrows. There's no like guns or cars or technology. In that way, they have their own sort of magical technology in the world. Hella cool, man. All the summons look so cool. I really like that in the games, just from what I've seen, because there's not much in the actual games that I've played when it comes to the summons. There is in 15, but not so much in 7. Is that they changed the designs quite a lot. They're not just stuck onto one design for each summon. So I think that's really cool. I think that's really fresh. That each time you see them, they look a little bit different. You can kind of tell. You can obviously tell which ones they are. And how it works is there's essentially there's a one for like each element. So there's like a fire one and a ground one and a air one and a lightning one, but then there's a multiple other ones outside of them as well. There's a bunch of them. They're quite iconic, but they look sick in this. Yeah, I wonder if it seems like it could be open world. I don't know. I haven't looked into the game at all. I try not to delve into stuff too much, especially this early. It's not out till next summer. I hope that it's open world, and that you're kind of going through. You can just go to each of the way I think it is, judging from just this trailer, is that you play this one guy who's able to gather all these crystals. So each region essentially has their own crystal person. I think they said icons at the end. I think icons are the people themselves that are able to control them. The people, when you see them scream and have their eyes open here, each of the characters we kind of met there. But I think as the main character you play, I think you go to each of these regions, and are able to fight and then in some way obtain that summon. You can see at the end they have this big boss fight thing here. So this is very similar to the first trailer we got. You have your own summons on the left, the top left there. You have the ice one, whose name I forget. I think that's Titan, and I think that's the wind one they have there underneath, and then they're fighting Odin. So you fight Odin, big boss fight, super cool, and once you win, you're able to get Odin onto your loadout, essentially. I think that's the way it's working. That's just pure speculation from the 2 trailers that I've seen. But the combat looks sick. The combat looks super, super cool. Let me have a look at this again. Ba-bum-bum. Oh yeah, you can see even in between... I don't know if this is the same fight. I don't think it is, because all these colours, all the loadout at least looks completely different between these 2 clips here. Ooh. Titan. Hell yeah. And then yeah, there's a point where you're able to essentially turn into one of the summons. I think you can use like abilities of them. You can just like having spells in a game. I think you can switch between abilities of them during a fight, and I think you can have 3 like we saw. I think you have 3 of them loaded at a time, and you can switch between them and have them use different abilities. And then at some point during these big fights, you're able to full on turn into one of them and have a big old one-on-one Titan fight, or big old kaiju fight of sorts. Seems really cool. I think it'd be really, really fun, that part. But yeah, the story is everything with these games. I wonder how they're going to do it, how it's going to work out. Does it play like a open world? Can you just go to... Do you have your intro, your tutorial, and your intro, and then you're just kind of plopped on a map and be like, okay, you have these 7, 8 kingdoms or whatever you can go to gather each of these summons, or can you just go each one, or is it kind of semi-linear that you kind of just follow a path, you go from one area to the next? I don't know. Personally I prefer an open world, fully flexible. Just plop me somewhere and let me just run around and forge my own path. That's the way I like to play games. So I wonder if they do that, this could be up there as easily one of my favorites. I'm really looking forward to this. This will be really fun. I'm into it. And the blood, I was going to say, this really caught me off guard. Because like they're violent games overall, but they've done killing, obviously. But it's quite tamed. There's not blood and gore, and like there's no like on-screen like decapitations or crazy killing stuff. There's a couple of iconic and shocking moments that are, but there's not, when it comes to blood, that's not something they do. So the fact that they're doing it in this is very interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this, is this the first of the Final Fantasy games to have an R rating, like a 17 plus mature rating? What do they call it? Likely mature. I think it's one of the only ones, or the first one, to have this high of an age rating. That's cool. I like that. I think it's very interesting for a game that is relatively tame to kind of take a step into more of a darker territory. I think that's really cool. I think it could really lend itself to the story. All these guys look so cool when they're like transforming or like taking on the appearance of their own summons. I think that's really cool, man.
Our ability to
They have their forms or whatever.
summon beasts of great might should command respect, but instead has left us outcasts.
I think that's Titan. That's surely Titan. That's very similar to... He's a very basic... Not basic design, but pretty straightforward. He's just a big bluish man with the eyes. Every time you see him. Cool beans. This is a strong Sephiroth vibes, by the way. This wing lady. Like that, just like between the outfit and the big white wings, that's Sephiroth. That is very, very, very Sephiroth-y. Ooh. Now when it comes to, now avoid spoiling it for anyone, but I'm just curious, and just a thought in my head, like I don't know anything about how a lot of these powers work in the world. Like how does Sephiroth have this wing? How is he this one-winged angel dude? Does it come from something like this? Does he have a connection to one of these excuse me, one of these summons? Does he have a connection to one of like the air based summons? Interesting. Just curious. I don't need an answer for this if it is a thing that I've still yet to discover myself. Please don't say anything. But I'm just curious, just the way this is shot. It's very, very similar angle to some Sephiroth things. Sephiroth. That big old claw, though. Yeah, like this full transformation thing. That's super cool, man. I'm into that. Yeah. This will be a game of like 6 cinematics, I think. This is like all the story cinematics will just be super, super, super cool and fun. But hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. Cool. Tell me what you guys think. Where are you with Final Fantasy? What's your position on the series, and what are you thinking about this? Curious to see what you think. I'll see you on the next one though. Be good.